So this is how you access this array, using any one of these to access the particular element in the array. This array has 4 rows and 5 columns, so 20 elements. If you want to access this element, this would be in the last row, which would be 3, comma, the first column, 0, right? Working with array dimensions. Several array properties and methods are useful. So if you want to get the total number of dimensions, use rank. So if we had passengers as an array and we wanted to get its rank, we would write passengers.rank. I'm not sure what, he doesn't say passengers here. Did he? No. We didn't talk about passengers yet, but anyway, suppose we had an array called passengers and we want to know the total number of dimensions. We'd say rank. So so in the last one here, which was my array, the number of dimensions is 2. And the same thing with this one, seats in class, the number of dimensions is 2. There's 2 dimensions, rows and columns. You can have more than that. We said you can have up to 32 dimensions. Earlier we discussed get length dim. Did we? I don't think so. Maybe we did, actually. I'm not sure. For completeness, VB also provides array.getUpperBoundDim, which can also be used to obtain the sizes of individual dimensions. As before, the single parameter dim is the target dimension. For example, for the bus on the previous slide, not a bus, but say for this one, seats in a class. So on this one, if we said seats in a class dot get upper bound 0 plus 1, what that means is, kind of crazy, but what that means is 0 refers to the first dimension, 1 refers to the second dimension. We said we could have more dimensions, so we could have like another dimension, so 2 would refer to the third dimension. It's always 0 index, so it's always confusing. But anyway, 0 refers to the first dimension. So how big is the first dimension? How big is the second dimension? How big is this dimension? It's not 19, right? It's the size is 20, right? How big is this dimension? It's not 14. The size is 15, right? So with that in mind, if we said passengers get upper bound 0, that means how big is the first dimension? Well, I already said how big is the first dimension. It's 20, it's not 19, but this actually, get upper bound means 19 plus 1 would give us 20, and that would be, we could call that the size of the first dimension. Sorry if this is so ridiculously complicated. It's really such a simple thing, right? But 0 refers to the first dimension, and get upper bound gives you the biggest index, which is not the size, because the size is that plus 1. So plus 1 gives me the size. If I used 1 here, so if I did that for this seats in a class, what would I get? 20 for this. This would be 20. If I did 1 here for size of class, that would be 14 plus 1, or 15. So 0 would give me, if I put 0, it would give me 19 plus 1, 20. If I did 1, it would give me 14 plus 1, 15. Ridiculously complicated, but that's the way it is. Okay, next thing is delaying array creation. Because arrays are fixed size, you often need to separate an array's declaration from its actual creation. So what he means is, If you just declare it, you don't actually have to say how big it's going to be. And then, by big, I mean the size of each dimension, not how many dimensions it has. The size of each dimension, not how many. You do have to say how many dimensions it has, but you don't have to say how big each of those dimensions has to be. So since the size of an array will often not be known at startup, why not? Maybe, he said, depends on user input. Maybe those dimension sizes depend on user input. In such cases, it's helpful to delay creation of an array and only specify its type and dimension number. So you do have to give the dimension number as well as the type at declaration. Because VB arrays are reference types, this is very easy. Okay, let's come back to this in the next video.